Yay! Hey y'all, my name is Kevin, and today I'm gonna be reviewing episode 25 of Utau, and holy fucking shit. This arc just keeps on giving us lit after lit episodes. And I gotta say, this episode was really damn sad because it just hits you with like two haymakers. And if y'all haven't seen the episode yet, I recommend to just pause my review video, go watch the episode, and then come back. And hell, if y'all want, you can I recommend y'all to watch the episode while watching my live reaction, and then come back and watch the review. Okay, now I'm assuming y'all have seen this episode at this point, and y'all have unpaused the video. This episode did a lot. It finally sets in the fact that Utau does have to be sacrificed, and that there's a 1 in 1 billion chance that she could survive. So already that shit is crazy. I was like, damn. And it really, really hits home at you because you could see the way Ayumi's saying it. She's saying it with a sad tone, and then it's like all shocking towards Takia, making for like an emotionally engaging sequence. Because now the stakes have increased because no matter what, Utau is pretty much doomed. And it's sad too because you have the buildup of Takia going through all these efforts of rescuing Utau. You have all these sequences of Utau acting nice to Kun, all the comedy sequences that have involved Utau. It's like they've built up Utau so much that you don't want to see this character die. So now that it finally sets in, it made for a sad sequence. So I did love that specific element about this episode. It increases the stakes, but at the same time, it shows you that for their Delta Toronto and Earth to prosper, there are going to have to be some huge sacrifices. So I do like that, setting itself up for it to become a major tragedy, which makes me wonder, could this Utau be the one that was transported into episode 1 of the series that kisses Takia? And that's what I wonder, because shit, if that's the case, then that would be pretty fucking sad if we go into episode 26 and then she gets transported into the setting of episode 1 and she just dissipates like that. Yo, I hope that doesn't happen, but it's setting itself up for that, and it would be the logical conclusion if that did happen. I mean, it wouldn't be an asshole, it would just be fucking sad. So I also do like that it's just slowly, emotionally getting us ready at the possibility of that happening to Utau. So I do like that element. Then aside from that, I like how afterwards you have things going on in the background, like Eriko still trying to chase after Shoujo, but then she gets slammed by water. So I do like that because, for one, it does increase Shoujo's feats because it shows you his super strength even more, and it makes him more like a threat. And then I like how as that's going on, you have stuff like Amanda and Takia talking, and then you see Takia saying stuff like normal last night, and I was like, oh shit. And that scene right there is a great way of raising a death flag and foreshadowing, because immediately after that heartwarming sequence, you get a later sequence where Amanda pretty much gets sucked into another dimension or possibly dies, and I was like, damn it. I should have just realized that was a death flag. Because when I first saw that, I was like, oh, so this is set up so that Takia and Amanda could probably become a family after all this is said and done. And I should have just, you know what? I'm going to slap myself for thinking that. Because, of course, it was a fucking death flag. I was way too optimistic to think that it could have been something happy. But I gotta give credit to the writing staff. They did a great job making me lower my guard, because when you see Amanda sucked in, it really made for a emotionally engaging and sad sequence. So I do love it. It has a lot of great writing, and I like the second half where Shoujo just shows up and he starts running amok by summoning like the spirit creatures to attack everyone, while Arumi activates this barrier so that Rishoji and herself are trapped, so that nothing happens to Yuno's body because she's performing like the ritual. So I love all these elements because there's a lot of narrative stakes. And aside from having the narrative stakes, I like how you see some cool action going on. Like you see them hitting like these spirit creature things, and then parts ways into like up the stakes, he starts summoning like Rishoji like these dimensional thingies. So that was pretty cool, I gotta say, and it just makes the second half of the episode much more intense. And that's why I felt it did great from a story standpoint, because I was thinking that Rishoji was gonna show up like a gigantic creature and be like a kind of like a final boss thing, like because you know like in some fantasy animes or games, you fight a gigantic creature. But I like how it's unique in its way. You have just spirits attacking while the main villain is trapped into like this barrier thing. So I do like the nice set piece here. And just seeing Takiya's surprised face when Amanda sucked in was sad too. It was like, damn, yo. This shit is just depressing as fuck. And then when Amanda tells Takiya to let go because she doesn't want to see Takiya sucked in, I love that sequence too, showing you in a grand way that Amanda truly loved Takiya. And it only made her disappearance or death, whatever it is, even more sadder. So in all, props to the writing staff. And that's why I felt it did great from the story standpoint, because it just, so many things going on. Like the ritual now started, Rishoji's already interrupting it. And then you got things like Amanda preparing the resistance to also help guard and protect Yuno during the ritual. Like so many elements going into this episode. And then Amanda's final line, one of her final lines was she now gets to, it's set, like her sister's probably going to be pissed that she wasn't able to visit her grave. That only made her death even sadder. So all in all, good job on the anime. And on making Amanda possibly passing away sad. And then aside from that, it did really great from the character standpoint, because seeing the maturity for Yuno when she accepts that she's going to be the sacrifice and she's already been prepared mentally for it was sad. And then when you see Takiya crying and apologizing because he said he's trying to pull a brave face on, was a beautiful sequence there. Because at this point you see his Takiya's emotional maturity there, because he is a father, so it'd be natural, even though it would be best for him to show a brave face, it'd be natural for him to cry in those circumstances, because it is his daughter that needs to be sacrificed. And that was also another sad sequence too. In the sequence where Yuno and Takiya hug each other and they're with each other, and the bed was really sweet, especially considering that the first time we saw Yuno, it was when Yuno was sleeping with Sailus Takiya, and that was a really cute sequence. And then to realize that that's gonna be the last time they have that kind of intimacy was depressing. So in all, just moments like that were awesome in this episode. And then I liked the Amanda character developments too, where you see that she legitimately did want to have more happy moments with Takiya. It only makes her death much more tragic. And I was like, fuck. No one's allowed to have nice things in this series. Like with Kankan, we thought Kankan was gonna survive. Nope, she dead. She dies. We thought Saki was gonna have a happy family with Sailus, and nope, Sailus has to die, and then unfortunately has to be sacrificed. And then with the whole Mena situation, I thought she was gonna be able to build a happy life. Nope, she has to die too, and I'm like, oh. But it goes to show though, even the writing in the characters is great, because it can actually make you feel sad for these characters that they're passing away. And I like it, because in most animes, when a character passes away, I usually have indifference towards it. Here, I don't. I actually feel it. So that's why I felt this episode did really well from the character standpoint, because seeing Amanda in the situation where she ended up was sad. So that's why I felt it did well from the character standpoint. And additionally, seeing Rishoji do maniacally evil things was, it was entertaining as fuck. So there were a lot of cool character moments here that made this episode pretty awesome. And its only weakness, honestly, is the animation and art. It was craptacular. I mean, I ain't gonna pull back punches. There was literally scenes where crowds were running away, and it was literally just a PowerPoint slideshow at moments. Or when there was a still shot of characters, you could tell they didn't even hand-drawn characters at times, because you could tell their faces were CG still shots, and I'm like, oh god, if you're gonna have CG crowds, at least have them move. Jeez, at least have the decency to have CG characters move if they're in the background. So things like that really dragged the episode down, because it wasn't just a few moments. It happened in multiple moments in the episode. And some of the action sequences devolved into still shot territory. I was like, come on, y'all. Come on, animators. You gave so much great animation quality to the Ayumi and Kana arcs. And this arc is like, story-wise, the best arc in the series. You're supposed to give your best towards the most important things, you know? That's how it's supposed to be done. So that's the only thing that hampers this episode into the perfection status. But in saying that, this episode is still a glorious 9 out of 10. Had the animation quality had it been average, this episode could have been a 10 out of 10 for me. But it wasn't average. The animation was below average. But other than that, this is still by far the best episode of by far. And this arc has been, at its best. So anyways, y'all, these are my thoughts on the episode. Be sure to comment on your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Rate the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later if we come back for more. Because I'm definitely pumped up for the finale. Alright, y'all. Have a great and safe day. Bye-bye.